Hello and welcome to the Windrush Fashionista channel. A vigil has taken place in Brixton to remember and commemorate the victims of the Windrush scandal. It is now 5 years since the government launched its compensation scheme, but campaigners say that those affected are yet to receive justice. The purpose of yesterday's vigil was not only to remember and commemorate the memories of those victims who have since passed away, but this vigil also highlights the injustices that those poor victims have experienced in terms of still having to wait for an overall absolution from British citizens, which may never come. It was the hostile environment policy, introduced by the Conservative government under Theresa May's leadership, which has unleashed injustices, which has far-reaching effects on present Windrush generation. It was said that West Indian workers migrated to Britain as bona fide British subjects. So why are they being singled out, one might ask? It is because of the color of their skins is the answer, and the rest. The vigil, which was held outside by the square's war memorial on an unusually warm spring afternoon, marks the resilience of our elders who paved the way for a more inclusive and diverse British generation, as well as helping to empower those present to keep up the good fight for justice and peace for the future babies of the Windrush generations. Among the 9 high-profile speakers addressing the vigil were Bishop Desmond Tutu, Rose Griffiths, and Professor Patrick Vernon. The common conversational theme throughout the service were that the scandal demonstrates the behavior of the perpetrators of injustices, which the Windrush generation and descendants have faced and continue to face. Look at this BBC London news report, which covers the vigil.
Welcome to BBC London, I'm Thomas McGill. A vigil has taken place in Brixton to remember the victims of the Windrush scandal. It's now 5 years since the government launched its compensation scheme, but campaigners say some of those affected have yet to receive justice, as Jessica Ure reports.
I want your campaigner to seek a job. And what will job you want? Any type, so long as I get a good pay.
To seek a job was why they came, but many of the Windrush generation were later plagued by a scandal.
No justice, no peace. No justice.
It's just appalling that their legal rights have not been fully recognised, that they came here to be citizens and contribute. Many people have contributed phenomenally to the modern Britain that we all celebrate, and they've just been dealt a horrible blow by having their rights ripped away from them.
It's now 5 years since the government first launched its compensation scheme for victims of the Windrush scandal. But 5 years on, some people are still waiting for compensation.
Nothing really has fundamental change. Yes, the compensation scheme has been going for 5 years. Some people have been paid out, but a lot of people have not been given the proper financial costs and losses covering what they do. Obviously, people lost their homes, people were deported, their lives were on hold.
Ross's parents came to Britain in the 60s.
They've always told the story that it wasn't easy and taught me to work hard, twice as hard, to be good enough. And the fact that people are continually suffering, this is totally inhumane. This shouldn't be going on in 2024.
Bishop Desmond supports many people still waiting for justice.
I think the big question for us is, are they listening? And yes, they are. However, I think there is a culture in the Home Office, and it's a historic culture of moving quite slowly. And that's our government moving, in all honesty.
Thank you for watching this video, and you can watch next week exclusively on the Windrush Fashionista channel, the Windrush National Candlelit Vigil, which is set to premiere on the 9th of April at 3:30 p.m. Also look out for future episodes of the Windrush Candlelit Vigil podcast, which is coming soon to this channel. So, do not hesitate to click the subscribe button below if you intend to hang out with us and find out the big issues that are knocking on the doors of the Windrush Candlelit Vigil community in Britain.